let me ask you this: for YouTube, right? You get to be in front of the camera, and I followed a few of them. And when I was doing some research on what you're doing, a couple of people came up. You ever heard? I'm sure you have. PewDiePie, is that his name? How do you say it?
PewDiePie.
Yeah. Or what about that little kid that reviews toys? That makes like $10 million a year, right? And he's like 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever he is, and he just says, "I like this toy. I play with this all the time." And now he's gets $10 million a year from his YouTube channel. Do you ever think? I often wonder with YouTube, it's sort of like it is like acting, because for every Tom Cruise, there's 10,000 others that don't even get a callback for anything, or they can't make a living at it. Do you ever say to yourself, "Hey, I'm creating this YouTube channel and I don't have enough traction to monetize it to the point where I can support myself. Is it worth it?"
Yeah, that's definitely something that I think about regularly, because it is an oversaturated platform, and it's also a really difficult one. Like it does, like, because now YouTube has been around for about 15 years, there isn't the same trajectory as there was back in the day of how you could be discovered. So it's definitely oversaturated. It definitely it causes people to have to be pretty creative in being discovered. And it's something, I definitely do worry about, because it does take a long time to be able to get full sustainability on just the platform. That's where part of just my competitiveness, I'm just like, I think you have to really believe in what you're doing and actually also be willing to put in the time. And those are the two of the things that I've always felt about myself, is I've always felt like I had the talent to do it, and I no doubt had the work ethic to do it. And if I put those two together, the only thing that was left is, would I actually be discovered from the marketing side, or would YouTube actually recommend my videos? Because that is not in my control, and it does bother me, because there's times where I'm like, wow, this was one of my best videos and it got like no views. And then another time I'll just throw a video together and I'm just like, why did this video get way more views than the last one? I don't even understand this. So it is a little scary, because there's that lack of control over if you actually do well. So you got to control what you can control, which I think is what I've been doing. And then I think you also have to be willing to realize that it may not be YouTube that becomes the big money maker. Like for me, I've realized that maybe I'll never be a big YouTuber, but I will. The things that I'm learning and the connections that I can get through this might essentially be my key into something.
Right. Well, I can tell you, as a publisher and as a CEO of 5 companies in LGBT media, I can tell you that what we look for when we create content is audience size, right? And the way that you create larger audiences is you leapfrog over your partners or your alliances. So you create alliances with other people that share your content and so forth and so on and so on. And one of the things that even in doing my podcast, because I'm a very busy person myself, I'm in the middle of several acquisitions right now, and it's difficult to make the time for the podcast, but I committed to it in the very beginning. And part of success is showing up and being consistent all the time, even when you don't feel like doing it. Be consistent and show up. And then what happens is eventually opportunity will be there and you'll be ready.